It's the middle of the night, and you're huddled in your tent on Serengeti National Park, Tanzania. You're dying for a pee, but your torch doesn't work. That's the trouble with batteries. They run out, often at the most inconvenient moments. It's just too dark and too scary to find a comfortable spot to relieve yourself. What do you do now?
Don't ever get caught short of a battery or two again. Buy a wind-up torch. Upon completion of this lesson, you will be able to explain what a wind-up torch is, know how it works, and apply your knowledge by actually using one in a real-time situation. Our African safari is just one nightmare scenario you want to avoid, but there are others that you will remember from your own experience. Think of different situations when you have used a torch. A camping trip, a power cut, a trip to the wine cellar perhaps. If you have a torch, what is its size, weight, how does it operate? These questions will help you focus on the new content that I'm about to give you. This is the main body of the torch. It is small, light, and will fit into your pocket, belt pouch, man bag, handbag, or rucksack. This is the front end of the torch where the bulb is fitted. On the top you will see the button which you press to turn the torch on, and underneath you will see the handle used to wind the torch. By way of learning guidance, I will start with a non-example of how to use this torch by pressing the on switch here. Nothing has happened. Why? Because there is no juice. This is the most common mistake made by beginners. They forget that this is a wind-up torch. Okay, now for an example of good practice. I open up the winder and I then turn the handle clockwise or anti-clockwise. It doesn't matter. It's all down to personal preference. So, if we continue this for a few seconds, we should have enough juice to turn the torch on lightly. And there you will see it's working. I think it'll probably work for a couple of minutes. You'd need to wind it up, give it a good wind for maybe 5 minutes to get a reasonable amount of juice. To elicit performance in a classroom situation, I would hand out wind-up torches to learners and ask them to practice the new behavior required for winding up a torch, i.e. using the winder a number of times to generate the juice needed. To elicit performance in an e-learning context over the internet, I would ask learners to share their understanding using a web camera. In either case, I would emphasize that they are free to make mistakes. They're not being assessed. This is their opportunity to get a thorough practical understanding by repeating the behavior again and again until they're confident that they have the skills and knowledge to actually operate the system. In terms of providing feedback, whether in a classroom situation or whether it was a video tutorial over the internet, I would seek to give advice and suggestions to help the student better understand the components of the torch and how the wind-up lever works. Formative feedback might also include annotated diagrams or a commentary on the recorded video made by the student. Formal assessment with a score would be based on a live demonstration by each student in a class or virtual classroom without the need for any assistance either by me or another student. The evaluation would be based on the learning objectives outlined at the beginning of this lesson. This means that the student would have to explain what a wind-up torch is, explain how it works, and point out the various components, and finally perform a practical demonstration on how to use one. By way of enhancing the retention and knowledge acquired during this lesson, I would produce a small fold-out quick reference guide which I would attach to a keyring.